Hello, let's solve for x in this nice Olympiad exam question. We are asked to find the value of x in x multiplied by x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 4 multiplied by x plus 6 equal to 9. Now, how do we find the value of x in this expression? If you do enjoy this math solution, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with friends and colleagues. Now, to solve these questions, we are going to regroup this expression such that the multiplication will be made much easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to regroup x with this and then this with this. Now let's get started. I'm going to have my x multiplied by x plus 6 on one side. On the other side, I'll be having my x plus 2 and then my x plus 4. And all these will be equal to 9. Great. Now in the next step, I'm going to multiply x with x plus 6. And if I do that, I'm going to have that to become x squared. X times x will give me x squared plus 6x. So I'm going to group this. And on the other hand, I'm going to multiply this, and that will give me x times x will give me x squared. X times 4 will give me 4x plus x 2 times x will give me 2x. So that will give me plus 6x, right? Plus 4 times 2 is going to give me 8, and all this will be equal to 9. So in the next step, I'm going to assume p to be equal to x squared plus 6x, which is the first expression I got from the multiplication of x multiplied by x plus 6. Now, if I take that expression, that means wherever I see x squared plus 6, I'm going to replace it with p. Now, if I do that, I'm going to have this to become p, right? Multiplied by p will be multiplied by, I have x squared plus 6 here, and that will be p plus 8, and all this will be equal to 9. Now, if I simplify this expression, I'm going to have my p squared plus p times 8 is going to give me 8p, and this will be equal to 9. In the next step, I'm going to regroup it such that it becomes a quadratic equation. Plus 8p minus 9, and this will be equal to 0. Great. Now let's solve that quadratic equation so as to get the values of p. To solve that quadratic expression, I want to consider 8 plus 8 to be equal to plus 9 minus 1, right? So that expression will now give me p squared plus 9p minus p minus p and minus 9, and that will be equal to 0. Great. So we are going to look at that and then simplify that expression. If I simplify that expression, I have p common here. If I remove p here, this is going to give me p plus 9, right? And I have 1 common here, and if I take away that 1, it's going to be negative 1 multiplied by p plus 9, right? And this will be equal to 0. Now, if I simplify this, I'm simply going to have two expressions, p minus 1 and my p plus 9, both will be equal to 0. So from this expression, considering the zero product rule, we'll have p minus 1 to be equal to 0, and also we'll also be having our p plus 9 to be equal to 0. So from this other side, the later side, we're going to have our p, if we add 1 to both sides, to be equal to 1. And that is a solution. We'll also have this as p equal to negative 9 if we subtract 9 from both sides. Now recall, we are not finding the value of p, we are looking for the values of x. And we said earlier on that our p is equal to x squared plus 6x. So if p is equal to x squared plus 6x, if p is equal to x squared plus 6x, then we are going to find separately the value of our p, our x, when p is equal to 1. So the value of our x when p is equal to 1, that will give us x squared plus 6x equal to 1. So this is also going to give us a quadratic expression, plus 6x minus 1 equal to 0. Now, since it's a quadratic expression, we're only going to solve this quadratic expression using the quadratic formula. From this expression, we can see that this is not simplifiable because we can't have one common value that we can multiply to give us negative 1. And when we add them, it gives us plus 6. So we're going to use the quadratic formula. So using the quadratic formula, we're going to have our x to be equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, and all of these divided by 2a. Now recall, from this expression, our a will be equal to 1, b is equal to plus 6, and c is equal to negative 1. So the value of our x will be equal to negative 6 plus or minus the square root of 6 square minus 4 multiplied by 1 multiplied by negative what? 1, which is c, and all of these will be divided by 2 multiplied by 1. Now recall that our a is equal to 1 and our b is equal to, our c is equal to negative 1. So if we simplify this expression, we're going to have our x to be equal to negative 6 plus or minus the square root of 6 squared is 36 minus 4, minus times minus is going to give us 1 plus 4. And that expression is now going to give us all of these divided by 2. So we're going to have the value of our s to be equal to negative 6 plus or minus the square root of 40 divided by 2. So from this expression, you'll see that our x is equal to negative 6 plus or minus the square root of, this is going to give us 4 multiplied by 10 divided by 2. The square root of 4 is going to give us 6. So we're going to have this to be negative 6 plus or minus 2 root 10 divided by 2. So that expression is going to give us x to be equal to negative 6 divided by 2 plus or minus 2 root 10 divided by 2. And from that expression, we can find out that our x is equal to negative 3 plus or minus root 10. So this is the first solution to the value of x. Now let's consider the other part of the solution to p. From the value we got our p to also be equal to negative 9, right? So we're going to look at, if p is equal to negative 9, if p is equal to minus 9, then our x squared plus 6x will be equal to 9, right? So we're going to have our x squared plus 6x minus 9 or plus 9 to be equal to 0 because this is negative 9, right? So we're going to have that expression. Now from that expression, you can see that we can simplify two values that can easily simplify to give us 9 because we can multiply 3 by 3 to give us 9, and we can also add 3 plus 3 to give us 6. So that makes that expression very easy to play around with. So I can replace 3 plus 3 with 6 because 3 times 3 can equally give me 9. So I'm going to have that expression to now give me, that expression will now give me x squared plus, that expression will now give me x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9 equal to 0. So we are going to simplify this. If we simplify this, we will now have that expression to now be equal to, x is common here, so we'll have our x multiplied by x plus 3, right? Here plus 3 is common, so we're going to have our x plus 3, right? And this will be equal to 0. So from this expression, we can see that we have x plus 3, and then we have x plus 3, and this is equal to 0. From this expression, we can simply see that we'll have x plus 3 all squared, and this is equal to 0. So if we square root both sides, we are going to have x plus 3, because if this squares this will also square this will clear this, and our x plus 3 will be equal to 0. So from that expression, the value of our x will be equal to negative 3. So we have a value for x, and the value of our x is negative 3. Now to find if our solution is absolutely right, we are going to substitute the value of x equal to negative 3 into the original expression, which is this. Now let's check to see if our solution is absolutely right. We are going to substitute the value of x equal to negative 3 into x multiplied by x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 4 multiplied by x plus 6, and will that solution be equal to 9? Let's find out. So we're going to have our x to be negative 3 multiplied by negative 3 plus 2 multiplied by negative 3 plus 4 multiplied by negative 3 plus 6. Now will this solution be equal to 9? Let's see. Negative 3 will have this to be negative 3 multiplied by this minus 3 plus 2 is going to give us minus 1. Minus 3 plus 1 is going to give us 1. And minus 3 plus 3 is going to give us 3, right? So minus times plus is going to give us 3. 3 multiplied by 1 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. So you see the expression 9 is equal to 9. And that tells us that the value of x equal to negative 3 is also the only real solution to that expression given to us up there. I know you did enjoy watching this math solution. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with friends and colleagues, and remember to subscribe to my channel for more simplified mathematics content. Thanks so much for watching, and bye bye for now.